Welcome guys, and in today's video we are continuing our tattooing face skin series for your skins, the skins that you sent in so we can take a look at and show to the world. So without further ado, we're going to start off with Robert's piece. Now Robert did two different sides. He did a piece on one side and a few pieces on the other. So let's take a look at side A, I'll call it. Here's Robert's work. He did color, and really cool. I remember when I opened the package or whatnot, you don't know what to expect. And I remember looking at it and going like, oh shit, wow, that's full color, you know? And it's really cool. I like how he did it with the blue in the back, you know, and it's got that dark color, but not black, if you will. The way he blended colors in here. Now there are several colors going on. There's like purples, a little bit of pinks, some reds, even out here in the leaves, different colors, you know, to get that like earthy look coming out into this light green or yellow at the tip. Really nice. I like the way you're gradating your colors and really building a nice color piece here. The only thing that I would say when it comes to this side would be that maybe just let there be a little bit more light in the flower, if you will. So that would be like a highlight. So out here where your light reds are at, just try to make those light spots a little lighter so that it has a little bit more dimension. Gets a little dark, but really, I mean, it's a beautiful piece. Really nicely done, Robert. Nothing really bad to say. The lines are solid and crisp. Really nice. I can tell you used a thicker liner, nothing crazy, but it's still really nice. The colors in there nicely. Like I said, the only thing I would do is maybe try to emphasize those highlights a little bit, those spots where maybe the light's hitting it, because you emphasize the depth. You got the depth punched in there. Now let's let a little bit of light shine through. That'd be about the only criticism I have here. It looks like you definitely took your time and got the colors packed in there well. So good job, Robert. Good job. Let's flip it over and take a look at what you got on the other side. Now clearly nothing blew through this. Again, this skin is a decent thickness here. And if we flip it over, we have a couple pieces back here. We have this candle. The line work is really nice, Robert. Really crisp, man. There's no question about what this is. And if we jump over here to this one, again, I can tell this is a bird, a very like illustrated bird, really cool. The lines seem a little bit light here. They seem a little bit not quite fully penetrated, but still, nonetheless, nice work. Tell what it is. It looks good. And then over here, it looks like maybe you were practicing a little bit, so we won't even look at that one because again, this is practice. All of this is practice. So if you make mistakes now, that's what it's all about, so you're not making them later. So good practice over here. Both of these look slamming. Line work in this one's a little bit crisper, more defined. This one's got a little bit of a haze to it, but overall, fantastic job, Robert. I thank you for sending these in, and I look forward to seeing more of your work. Next up, we have Francisco's work. Francisco's been tattooing for 3 months now, so let's take a look at what Francisco has got for us today. Here's Francisco's work. I like that he really utilized this piece. As you can see, I mean, he put a piece over here, a bit here, bit here, bit here, bit here. Just really utilized it. So let's jump in and take a look. Now, without knowing exactly what size needles he used and what have you, we're just gonna go off of, you know, in general. So if we take a look at your line work over here on this lady, it's pretty decent. I see where lines connect and they seem to be connecting well. That can be tricky trying to get, you know, a line to come down and a line to come up and connect and things like that. I see you did that here and it looks good. It can be tricky also using these really small liners, but you're pulling it off well, especially for being new to it. I'm not sure how fast you're moving your hand, Francisco, but I can say that you might be moving a little bit quick through here, and that might be giving you that that line that doesn't quite look like it's all the way in there. Nice job on the girl. There's no question about what it is. I like how you made the hair the darkest bit, you know, like that's where the black is at. And you left other things very lightly shaded and let a lot of skin show. I like that style of tattooing as well. It's really cool, and I think you did a really nice job here. I would say just put a little bit more depth in it, just in those spots that are really, really black. Don't be scared to get in there and put a little extra black to push that space back a little bit further. But all in all, good job over here. Let's take a look at the flower. Now again, this is a small little flower, but I do notice your lines are a little bit weak here, and like I said, it can be tricky when you're dealing with such thin skin. You're trying your hardest to get the line in without going through it. And going through it sometimes is the way it is when you're dealing with very thin skin, like this. It's gonna be a lot easier to punch through the other side. But in here, the lines are just a little bit light, but I love the little bit of shading you put in there. Looks like you were cross-hatching, which is a great technique. The shading wise is really nice. You're getting the hang of it and it's flowing well. Maybe just focus on a little bit of the line work, try to get it in there a little bit better. It is a fine process when you're working with such small little pieces. Just like this little stormtrooper helmet over here, really cool, a lot of little detail in here for practicing, and it's fantastic. It looks good. And then we'll jump up here to the hands. The hands look really nice, man. The lines are good up here. They're in there. I can see where you went back through, shaded, put your darks in. Nice job. As a whole, this is nice, Francisco. It is nice. I'm just trying to pick those little things, and it seems like maybe the lines are just a little faint. I'd say as a whole, that would be the only thing that I'd really have to say. We're gonna flip this over and check out the back. Now, as you can see, some of it did come through. And like we did in our last videos, you see that this is kind of a hard thing to avoid when doing such small, such thin fake skin, okay? But nonetheless, it's not horribly bad. It's just in a few spots here. But if you had thicker skin, we might not even see this when we flipped it over. So it is hard to judge people, or hard to tell people, like, oh, you're going too deep, or this, that, and the other, when the skin is so thin. But so just focus on that. I would encourage you to maybe get a thicker skin and go that route. But as a whole, Francisco, for 3 months, this is good. You don't want to see my work after 3 months. It wasn't quite this smooth. The lines weren't where I wanted them to be. So good job, Francisco, and thank you for sending this in to let me look at. Fantastic job, brother. I'll be sending it back to you shortly. Alright guys, our next person up is Jeff. So for these two pieces, Jeff used a 3-round shader, a 7-round shader, and an 11 mag. So without further ado, let's take a look at Jeff's work. First off, I have to say, Jeff, just glancing at them, they look really nice. I like the shading in them. I like the style that you have. The concept, they're just really nice to look at. So let's start off with the butterfly over here. If we take a look, the black is put in really well. I love this soft shading you have in here. And even the style of this, you know, the concept is nice. The only thing I would say is I'd watch your lines a little bit. They seem a little bit light and a little scratchy in some places. But again, dealing with the thin skin, that can be tricky. You can't really get it in there the way you want it in there. But it's also a pretty ballsy move early on to come in with solid lines like this that really define the piece. It's part of the design, so I give you credit for jumping in there and making this diamond piece, which looks really nice. It looks solid, it's there. Those lines are put in nicely. The shading is good. Maybe slow down a little bit when you're pumping in your blacks. I know fake skin's tricky. You don't always get like a full saturated look all the time, but it could be a little bit more saturated. Just little things, just those little things, because as a whole, it looks really nice. Let's take a quick look at the back. And it's all pretty well evenly displaced as far as your lining. So it tells me that you'll probably have a consistent needle depth, speed setup. I would just kind of slow it down a little bit in some spots. And like I said before, just some of the lines here and there, just a little bit slower. It seems like they might be missing little pieces, but as a whole, fantastic piece here. Let's jump over to your other piece that you sent in. I really like how you differentiated your shades. So the hair is one sort of full-on shade color. The hair coming down appears to lighten up a little bit down here. Really packed the color in well. A lot of little details in this piece. A little bit up around the eye in here. I like how you put some light shading in there. The lines on this one are actually, I think, a little bit crisper, a little nicer, especially up in the flowers, around the leaves here, the face. It's all really, really nice. Especially when this was your first time shading as well. I mean, shading is tricky in general, especially when you're trying to take that skill from paper and put it onto skin. It doesn't necessarily translate the same way that we want it to. So to see that you have these shapes and these shades happening in the flowers says that you're getting the hang of this. You're starting to figure it out. Again, as I am, and it's always a personal thing, is I think people just need to put a little bit more black to give their pieces a little bit more depth. But what I would do is come into a lot of these little key places and just put a little black in. Just when you're kind of done, you're looking at it, where's my darkest points, where's my depth, and just go in and put a little bit of that in there. A little bit of black here and there will really make the piece more dynamic. But as a whole, this is really nice. Jeff, let's flip it over and take a look. It's pretty similar to the back side of this piece, which means you are being consistent. Your work is consistent, and that's a good thing to have while you're, early on. Just keep at it. I would highly encourage you to get another type of fake skin and try your hand with a little bit thicker of a fake skin. You might find that the end result is even better. But again, for 2 months of tattooing, fantastic, Jeff. Fan-freaking-tastic. Jeff also practiced this piece on this fake skin before he put it on, I believe, his wife. So really cool. Congratulations, man. Fantastic work. And thank you so much for sending these in. So that brings us to our next piece. Now this piece, I didn't have a name with it. I couldn't find a name on the postage or anything like that. But we do have a tag here at the bottom of the piece that will tell you, I believe, their Instagram, so you can check them out there. Again, I don't know your name, but we will move on. They left us a note like most people did. This is a brief note, so I'm gonna read it real quick. Dave, great videos, man. This is my first time tattooing fake skin. First time. I kind of drilled the CNC Q2 pen around the middle. So he's saying he went a little heavy around the middle with the CNC. But then when he was cleaning it off, you know how the ink sticks to it, you gotta wipe and pull and pull. Well, apparently at that point, it ripped part of the tattoo on the fake skin. But nonetheless, he's practicing and he wanted to show it to us, and I think that is freaking awesome. So let's jump in and take a look at the next piece. So I really think that the concept here is cool. The snake looks wicked awesome. The face is really where the detail's at. You must be using a small liner because it's a small little head, so to get that detail in there, nice job. And good patience for you to take the time and really put every one of these little scales in there. That's where the time comes in, and to use that really fine liner to do that on really thin skin is so tricky. It is very difficult to use a small, sharp liner on such thin skin because it is gonna rip, or you'll run that potential of having it rip, and it sucks. I've had it happen to me, and this is how I learned. So I'm not giving you a hard time in any way. I'm just using this as an example to show other people why spending a couple extra bucks, if you can, on a little bit thicker fake skin will definitely be worth it for you and the time you spend. Now again, a lot of time in here, man. Really nice. I would say that slow down a little bit. It seems like up here in the upper portion here, the lines were a little bit crisper. You could see them a bit more, especially in the body here. Really nice. We get down here a little bit and we start to lose some of those lines. They are starting to get a little bit too thin. They do pick up again back over here a little bit thicker, but slow down a little bit, take your time, run these lines like your life depends on it, you know, really nice and controlled. It can be a bit annoying when there's so many little lines in a piece and you're like, oh my God. But the end result is worth taking your time, you know. I have to say that this is fantastic for your first time on fake skin. I would never attempt something so detailed on fake skin for my first try. So again, Good on you, my friend, for taking that leap. And then when we get back down here, I see the lines, they really start to crispen up a little bit more. Maybe you caught your second wind, maybe you're getting a little bit more comfortable down here. It's hard to say everything that was going on, but it did get a little bit nicer down here. And as we come around, still those little details back there. And I know when you're wiping this ink and wiping that ink and wiping that ink, it can be hard to kind of see your stencil, see what's there, what's not there, what's going into the fake skin, what's not quite going in the fake skin. Tricky stuff. Keep at it. Keep at it. This is your first go at it. You've learned so much from this one go. We are going to flip it over, and we do already know that it broke in a little spot there, but let's flip it over real quick. The only spot where there was an issue was right here. So maybe you had to go over that line a couple times to get it exactly where you wanted it, and then when you went to clean it, it was just a little too thin there and it tore. Not a big deal. It's practice. That's what we're doing, you know? But nonetheless, again, for your first time on fake skin, I think you really did a good job. I would take your time next time, maybe try something a little bit more simplistic. It's gonna help your confidence level when you can nail something, even if it's simplistic, and do it just a really nice job on it. It's gonna help you out. Great job here. You learned a lot, and we're moving forward. So I look forward to seeing your 10th piece, your 5th piece, your 3rd piece. Keep practicing, send in another piece, because I want to see your improvement, and I want to show everybody the improvement that we can all make in a short period of time. I just want to thank you guys for watching, taking the time to check out other people's work. It's really cool. It's something fun that we can do. And if you enjoyed this video, give it a like. It lets me know you want more of it. It lets YouTube know that you guys like it. Let's show it to more people. Also, subscribe if you're not subscribed already. Ring the bell to get notifications when I post. Also, check out the merch, link in the description. I really appreciate it again, guys. And until next time, peace.